Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we have for you. Ledger has a seed phrase recovery service, but there's a lot of blowback. We'll get into it. USD, Tether, and Bitcoin. SEC versus Ripple motion denied, but will the SEC file an appeal? And how long do they have? FedNow going live. Elon Musk. Twitter's going to disrupt the financial system. We're going to talk about it. Ripple makes a $250 million acquisition, and it is massive. We got comments from Brad Garlinghouse and XRP-TA. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, we're at $1.16 trillion market cap. The market is off by 0.7%. Bitcoin, 26,700 plus right now. Ethereum, 1796, just under 1,800 bucks. Tether market cap is 82.8 billion right here, plus. And XRP is 44 cents, experiencing a 5.6% burst on that SEC motion denied, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get into that more in just a second here. This is Jason Cousins right here. It says, as many of us shift to gold increasingly with Glint Pay as a safeguard against unfavorable fiscal climate and debt bubble, could AI contribute to substantial surge in productivity that might help us navigate out of this predicament? Gold is security and Glint is key. And I want to tell you that right now, over the next few weeks, new registered users of Glint can enter the code that I have underneath the link in this video and videos to follow. And new registered users can get a code during the registration to get 50% off vaulting and insurance fees for the next 12 months until June 2024. Do not mess around and click that link underneath for Glint Pay before it's gone. Ledger calls itself a self-custody maxi, says recovery service is optional. This is after the announcement of the self-custody recovery service that was really brought forth yesterday, I believe it was. And essentially, Ledger Recovery Service is a service that allows people to opt in, and it's 1,000% optional. You do not have to do it. If you don't want Ledger Recover, don't opt in, and your attack surface doesn't change at all. Now, essentially what this is basically saying that Ledger is made up of security self-custody maxis. It said that the team would not introduce any feature that compromised that. And let's see right here, 1 second here. So that compromised those principles. Rogers also said that despite the present backlash against Ledger Recovery, most customers previously expressed a desire for such a feature and reacted positively when the feature was announced in advance weeks ago. Now, what you need to know is that what this essentially does is it breaks your seed phrases up and sends them out to a couple, 2, 3 different entities to hold on to it. And this is what scares people about it. And again, you don't have to opt into it. I'm not opting in myself. It's not financial advice, just what I'm choosing to do. But here we see that Vitse Wen tells us all right here, what will we do? Social recovery, more soon, what we will never do. And then he shares this article here. So I can't wait to hear what he may have in store for the Zum wallet. We will listen for more here. Again, the Ledger crypto wallet under fire over seed phrase recovery service. And just very quickly here, it's an ID-based key recovery service that backs up users' seed phrases. To use the service, users must provide a passport or national identity card to confirm their identity. 3 encrypted fragments will be trusted custodians, Ledger, CoinCover, and a third provider. Some users are worried they now have to rely on the security of these companies. Each fragment is stored by the parties on hardware security modules, it says here, which are essentially super-powered ledgers. A Ledger spokesman told Decrypt that it's what we use for Ledger Enterprise. Each fragment is useless on its own and can only be decrypted on a ledger. They are completely safe, they say, and it is a service you pay $9.99 a month for. However, that's where we are on this day, and people are getting used to the idea or not, and we'll see how that grows from there, no doubt about it. You know, one thing I will say is when I read this article, it reminded me of trusts. You know, if you put your digital assets in a trust, you're going to have to share that seed phrase, encrypted seed phrase, with someone who holds it. Otherwise, half goes to you, half goes to them as the code and the phrases, or otherwise it nullifies the trust that you're trying to have. So that's some work that we've been doing inside the Digital Perspective Mastermind group. So this article, CoinDesk says, Tether, the issuer of $82 billion USD Tether stablecoin, says that starting this month, it will regularly purchase Bitcoin for its stablecoin reserve surplus using realized profits. Now, I want to share this underneath here from back in May last year. Shout out to Cowboy Crypto for this. John M. Griffin owns IntegraFech, and it says here, this is what he said in his report, is Bitcoin really untethered? In 2018 about Bitcoin's price and manipulation. He said, we find that purchases with Tether are timed following market downturns and result in sizable increases in Bitcoin's prices. That's the concern. I don't know it to be a fact, but that's my concern. Then I say, so, USD Tether prints more USD Tether, and Bitcoin usually goes up, and that does usually happen. They use those profits from USD Tether to purchase more Bitcoin for profits in reserve surplus. Tell me, how is this not the definition of a Ponzi scheme again? And how come we never see or hear from the actual CEO of USD Tether? Something's not right. And for those of you that didn't hear the news, the SEC versus Ripple, the Hinman emails are going to be revealed. That's what's happening. Judge Torres ruled on it. Motion denied. Now, there is some information as well that Ripple will have to divulge on their side of the fence, which is only rightfully so, according to Judge Torres. And it's also quite curious from the language of this order in motion here that it would suggest that either the summary judgment ruling is already written or almost written in its entirety. However, there is a question that the SEC will have the opportunity up to 14 days to appeal the unsealing of the Hinman emails for an interlocutory appeal. Now, I don't know that that would take place, and it does seem like a small percentage chance that that would happen. But Jeremy Hogan reminds us the SEC has 10 days to file its 59E motion, he thinks. So we'll keep you up to date if the SEC does that. They are definitely the kind of entity that likes to kick the ball down the road, aren't they? So with that being said, let's also take a look at this. Timing is everything. So we know that the case is getting very close to a ruling or a settlement with the SEC versus Ripple. We know that Ripple is a partner to the U.S. Faster Payments Council, which is in fact FedNow. FedNow goes live in July 2023. The Fed Master Accounts becomes transparent and open for connecting companies to utilize the faster payment rails. We will experience instant payments without an app. It'll be a standard in your accounts. And here you can see, thanks to a provision in last year's National Defense Authorization Act, the Fed Board of Governors must establish a searchable database of all the institutions with so-called master accounts, which serve as a single point of access for various services within the central bank by this summer. That is exciting to see that come to fruition. But we got more good news. Elon Musk here, I asked him, hey, Elon, when the XRP ledger? Because he's talking about Twitter to create a more efficient real-time financial system than the one we currently have. Take a listen here.
Walter Isaacson, your biographer, he said your big goal for Twitter is disrupting the banking industry.
Well,
is that accurate?
I'd say that's a. Look, first of all, I don't want to disrupt something for the sake of disrupting it. It's more like if there is a better product, that's great. But I'm not out for disruption for the sake of disruption. I'm like, if we can make a product that improves quality of life for people, that they find more useful, that's great. What people see in PayPal is sort of like a halfway. It's it's frankly sort of a half-baked version of what it could be. And so I think there's potential to create a more efficient financial system. And here we can get, again, quite esoteric into sort of information theory. But the actual financial system today is a heterogeneous set of databases running on mainframes and COBOL that still engage in batch processing. It's really quite very inefficient. So things are still not real time, and so it's possible to have a much more efficient, homogeneous real time data system. Money is just information, and so but that's not like the only reason. It's just a thing that would be, I think, poetic to fulfill ultimately the vision that I had for X over 23 years ago, right. and actually see that come to fruition would be nice. But there are many other things for Twitter. It's not just financial stuff.
Well,
And there you have that. And it is exciting to see. We don't know if he'll use the XRP ledger, but if you're looking for real-time efficient payments, I mean, one would think there's a chance, right? We'll watch it for more. I'll tell you what, we don't have to guess whether this is a chance or not. Ripple announces today that they have acquired Matako, becoming the sole shareholder of the Swiss-based provider of the digital asset custody and tokenization technology. How about that? And here it is right here. Ripple's acquired Swiss-based crypto custody provider Matako for $250 million to expand in crypto custody and strengthen its presence beyond the United States. I think this is extremely telling, understanding that we just got the information that we did here. This is the article here. Diversifying into custody solutions will bring new revenue opportunities, Ripple said, adding that the acquisition is part of its strategy to broaden its presence beyond the U.S. and its uncertain regulatory landscape. We know what went on in 2020 with the lawsuit. We know all of that. But this acquisition was financed through a combination of cash and Ripple equity. Matako is a proven leader in institutional digital asset custody with an exceptional executive branch and a truly unmatched customer track record, said Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple. Ripple will become the sole shareholder of Matako, which will continue to operate as an independent business unit led by its founder and CEO. How about that? And here is Brad right here, who said, we're thrilled to welcome Matako and CEO to Ripple as Ripple expands into custody. This is a major move here, ladies and gentlemen. A key part of crypto infrastructure will be able to support customers with the technology to custody, issue, and send and settle any type of tokenized asset. This is massive. Ripple and Matako already share a focus on enterprise utility, regulatory compliance, and a global-first mindset that will help us deliver the best possible experience to our institutional customer base around the world. Coming out of one of the coldest crypto winters yet, I'm incredibly bullish about Ripple's trajectory. Every day we're thinking about the long-term opportunity of crypto utility, putting our money and minds behind the mission and partnering with folks who share that vision. How about that right there? Shout out to Brad Garlinghouse, I tell you, and let's take a look at what's going on with the technicals here. Now, we know we saw a little jump in price. That was based on the SEC motion denied, right? But here we see a mini descending channel here on the macro level. The go-go level is our portal to hit our preset targets, $5, $7, $10, $13, $15, $17, $22, $27 on the micro moves. XRP is still within the mini descending channel. XRP has to close above the DC for the bullish continuation. The below targets are possible targets for XRP to hit them, but I do believe it will be wicks. How about that? So you want to take that. Also, you can see where we're currently sitting here and where we're at and what we're watching in all of this. You can see the comparison to these example patterns here in the descending channel pattern with the breakout to at downside if it were to pull back, right? So we'll watch all of this stuff to see how it plays out. Again, this is not financial advice, but we've all heard for a very long period of time the 5, 7, 10, 13, 15, 17, 22, $27 price points that the technical analysts see on the charts. But we have to be aware that if it were to break to the downside, where will we find support? At 37, right? 34, 31, and 28 cents levels if it were to break to the downside, and that could happen, right? And then he also makes it very clear here that whether it goes up or down, you got to be careful that it could be a wick, right? To where it spikes and hits something or spikes down and hits something, but it doesn't mean that it would be a solid floor. It just goes down and touches it or up and touches it. So all things to watch as we move forward with more information. I'm so excited about the fundamentals in this case and how close we are to getting a ruling and what it may reveal for all of us as well as Ripple for the path forward for legal clarity, not just for Ripple and XRP, but hopefully for the crypto space and digital asset innovation broadly. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.